everyone! Happy Easter! Barnaby and I thought we would do another story time today, and we thought we would read Barnaby's Bunny. Does that sound good, Barnaby? It's one of Barnaby's favorites. On a faraway land many miles out to sea, there lives a young bear named Barnaby. He is sweet and adorable and cuddly too. He may be a bear, but he's like me and you. Now Barnaby's friends think of something they need, a new classroom pet to love and to feed. But pets will require, as they'll soon see, not only good care, but responsibility. Spring had arrived on the faraway island. The daffodils were blooming, the ocean was sparkling, and it was show and tell day at school, and Barnaby was bringing his dog Baxter. When Barnaby arrived at Academy Hill, his friends gathered around him. "Hi, Baxter," said Paisley. "Wow, what a cool dog," said Ellery. The bell rang and everyone ran inside. "It's time for show and tell," said Mrs. Seeley. "Who would like to go first?" Barnaby raised his paw. "This is my dog Baxter," said Barnaby. "He can do lots of tricks. He can stand on his hind legs, he can do a forward and a backward somersault, and he can even catch a ball with his tail." "I wish we had a pet in school all the time," said Paisley. That gave Barnaby a great idea. Mrs. Seeley?" asked Barnaby, "can we get a class pet?" All of Barnaby's classmates thought that was one of the best ideas Barnaby had ever had. "Well, maybe," said Mrs. Seeley. "Let me think about it." Barnaby and his classmates were on their best behavior for the rest of the day because they really wanted a class pet. They sat quietly at circle time. They lined up perfectly to go out to recess. They even helped Mrs. Seeley take out the trash. That evening, Mrs. Seeley thought and thought and thought about getting a class pet. The next morning at school, she made an announcement. "Each of you will get an egg," said Mrs. Seeley, "and we'll make pet eggs." "What's that?" asked Barnaby. "It's an egg that you will decorate to look like a pet. And if you can show me that you can take good care of your pet egg, then maybe we'll get a real class pet." Barnaby and his classmates followed Mrs. Seeley inside and to the art corner. There were tons of tubes of glitter, fur and felt, and flashy colors, and lots of paint. Barnaby's friends were a little bit nervous. "I've never taken care of a pet before," said Paisley. "What if I lose mine?" said Fancy Frida. "What if I drop mine?" said Jimmy. But Barnaby was not worried one bit. He was used to taking care of a pet. He took really good care of Baxter all the time. He would take him for long walks, play ball with him after school, and feed him his dinner. And when Baxter was dirty, Barnaby gave him a bath, and when Baxter was sick, Barnaby always gave him his medicine. Barnaby wanted to be a world-famous veterinarian when he grew up. That is, if he didn't become a world-famous explorer. "This is going to be easy," Barnaby told his friends. Barnaby and his classmates spent all morning making their pet eggs. Paisley made a butterfly, Cece made a chick, and Jimmy made a gerbil. Ellery made an elk, Fancy Frida made a fish, and Barnaby made a bunny. That day on the playground, no one could play except for Barnaby. During nap time, no one could sleep except for Barnaby. And at snack time, no one could eat except for Barnaby. Well, and Ellery. Soon it was time to go home. "Take good care of your pet eggs," shouted Mrs. Seeley. "Don't worry," said Barnaby. "This is going to be easy." On the way home from school, Barnaby stopped by the Main Street Market to see his parents. He could smell his mother's freshly baked cookies as he walked through the door. Meet my new pet bunny, said Barnaby. It's nice to meet you, said Barnaby's mother. Now you'll have 2 pets to take care of, said Barnaby's father. You'll have your paws full. Don't worry, said Barnaby. This is going to be easy. That afternoon after school, everyone took really good care of their pet eggs. Ellery took his for a walk, and Fancy Frida fed her fish. Cece combed her hair on her chick, and Jimmy gave her his gerbil a bath, and Baisley tucked hers into bed. And what was Barnaby doing that he shouldn't have been doing? He went for a scooter ride. And I don't know if you can see, but where's his bunny? Oh, it's down there. It looks a little dirty. The next morning, Barnaby and his friends arrived at the school boat stop. Ahoy there, mates! Choppy waters ahead, said Hector. Hold on tight to your pet eggs. The school boat went bumpity, bumpity, bumpity. And then it went bumpity, 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 splash. Barnaby's bunny flew out of his paws, but luckily it landed in Hector's spout. Phew, said Barnaby. But when Barnaby arrived at school, he and his friends noticed that his bunny had a crack down his back. Oh no, said Barnaby, what am I going to do? Now we're not going to get a class pet, said Cece. Gather around for circle time, said Mrs. Seeley. What did you learn about taking care of your pet eggs? You have to play with yours very gently, said Baisley. And you have to take good care of it, said Cece. Barnaby, how did you do with your pet egg? Asked Mrs. Seeley. Well, I had an accident with my pet egg, said Barnaby. And Barnaby told Mrs. Seeley the whole story. Well, accidents happen, said Mrs. Seeley, and I'm glad you told me the truth. I guess it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be, said Barnaby. Do you think we can fix it? Asked Barnaby. Sure, said Mrs. Seeley, and she reached in her pocket and pulled out a Band-Aid. Follow me, she said. Let's give our pet eggs some exercise. So Barnaby and his classmates followed Mrs. Seeley down the hill, around the harbor, and up Cobblestone Alley. Where are we going? Asked Barnaby. It's a surprise, said Mrs. Seeley. As they rounded the corner, there was the island farm stand, and inside the wooden hutch was a fluffy white bunny. Meet your new class pet, said Mrs. Seeley. Everyone cheered. Having a class pet may not be easy, said Barnaby, but it will be a lot of fun. The end. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope you have a happy Easter, and we'll do it again soon. Bye, everyone.